Hello there, you're right, welcome to another shed science that isn't actually in my shed. Today I've got an experiment for you to do at home, and then another experiment which I don't know is going to work. In fact, I've never done either of these two experiments, so I'm really hoping they will work. I guess if they don't, I just won't make the video. For now, what we're going to do, using this humble jar, is make, or try to make, a lava lamp. You may know what a lava lamp looks like with the sort of like the lava sort of moving around the lamp. It's apparently quite a common science experiment to do, but I've never done it. Here's what we need. We need a jar, we need some oil, and the smaller the jar, the less oil you need, because you need to fill this mostly with oil. We're going to need some water, and to make it look really fancy, very fancy, we're going to use some food colouring. I'm going to try blue, no reason. Oh, unless, I've gone with some red food colouring because I think that's going to look coolest. I have a cloth because I don't want oil to go everywhere, and then into my jar I'm going to pour a considerable amount of vegetable cooking oil. And apparently you want to do quite a lot. So we have a lovely jar full of oil here. And into that we're going to put some water. Now you can just use water. Into that we're going to put some water. Now you can just use water. I'm going to use some food colouring with my water because it makes it look nicer. No idea how much to add, so we're just going to go with a bloop. So we'll go with, bloop. Maybe too much. Yeah, no, that's fine. So apparently now what we do is we pour the water into the oil. Now the critical thing here is that oil and water don't mix. So it won't all sort of mix together to form one big orange blur. What you should have are like bubbles of red water in amongst the oil. Ooh, look at that. It's so pretty. Oh. Okay, so I know of two ways to make this look particularly lava lampy. One of them, everyone says on the internet, is fine and works okay. The other one, I don't know if it will work, so we're going to try that one first. So the idea of a lava lamp is you have a heating element at the bottom. As you heat the bottom, the water, which you'll see is at the bottom, should start to rise because it becomes less dense. We've talked about density before in my submarine video. But as the bottom heats up, it becomes less dense and it should start to rise. So all the water should start to rise, but then it cools down and gets to the top and it should start to go back down again. Okay, so that didn't work. It may be that it didn't get hot enough. I didn't want to risk smashing the glass, so I was really, really careful. I put it in a pan with water, so like the hottest it would have gotten was like 100 degrees. I think maybe that's not enough, maybe there was too much water. I don't know. What I do know is there is another way of turning this into a working lava lamp. So the thing with an antacid tablet is when it goes into water, it... Oh. Well, that's not what I expected at all. I mean, they should fizz. Right? You're meant to use an Alka-Seltzer tablet, and I didn't have those, so I used an antacid, which hasn't worked. But I do have Berocca in the house. Berocca, very good if you've got like a cold. And you'll see it fizzes in water. It also turns the water yellow. So the other way you can make this lava lamp work is to put an Alka-Seltzer in there. And what happens with an Alka-Seltzer is it releases carbon dioxide in amongst the water. That makes the water less dense because there's loads of gas in it, and the water then starts to move around like a lava lamp. I don't have Alka-Seltzer, but I'm going to try a Berocca. I'm going to try a little bit at a time. Maybe it's like a little bit. Okay. Oh! Yeah, boy! It works! Very... Okay, right. I need more Berocca. say this, if you're going to do this at home, be really careful with the washing up on this one, because that's just a big old jar of oil. So I'm going to see if I can, after it's settled, reuse that oil for cooking. Should be fine, but if you're going to throw it away, don't just pour it down the sink, because it can be really bad for the pipes and your plumbing. I tend to get like some stale bread and put that in my food waste bin, and then pour any waste oil on top of the stale bread. It kind of absorbs all the oil then, and then it can just go out in the little green bags in the food waste. But doing this experiment got me thinking about the different densities of oil and water, and how water will always sink in oil. And is there something then that would sink in water? And is there something else that would sink below that? And yes, before you say, ooh, I wonder, yes, there is. So what you can actually do, if you have several different liquids with different densities, is layer them. So instead of having water, oil, you can have many things. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So a low density liquid will float on a high density liquid. And what you can do is layer several different liquids in a jar, in a flask, without them mixing, ideally. And if they don't mix, you'll actually see layers of the different liquids. So I've got a bunch of different liquids, and I'm going to try it out. So if you wanted to do this, you need some honey, some syrup. This, by the way, was just an excuse for me to go out and buy syrup for pancakes. Don't tell the wife. Some more food colouring, water, obviously, milk, washing up liquids. Oh, and oil, because we had that before. And you also need a jar. And I figured with this, the thinner the jar, the better. Like, ideally, you want like a measuring cylinder, which is really, really thin. I couldn't do that because I don't have one at home, because I'm not that much of a nerd. That is the thinnest jar I could find in my house. We're going to start with... That's why I've got a cloth. We're going to start with honey because it should be the densest liquid, and if you think about it, you know, it's really thick and viscous, that makes sense. Oh my lord. Yeah, got lost, loser. Got lost? Get lost. Oh my lord! You know, I could edit this to make that look seamless. I won't. I need like 3 or 4 spoons. This is gonna take ages. I now have just honey in my jar. I'm now going to try and put some maple syrup on it. The idea of this is not to get it to mix. Yeah, boy! The next one I'm really unsure about, because it's milk. Like, I can imagine cream working, but milk, like, I got thick... I don't think it'll mix with the syrup. I think it'll mix with the next... would it though? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Three layers down, and next up we have washing up liquid. This is going to be an interesting one. Oh man, it's sinking below the milk. So really it should have gone washing up liquid, then milk. I mean, what's really cool about this is it is sinking below the milk, but it's not sinking into the syrup. So I do, like, sort of, almost, like, it's kind of, so the washing up liquid sank through the milk, and it's messy, but you can't, like, it is in, it's messy, but there's, like, the blue of the washing up liquid, and then, like, messy milk layer. I'm going to chalk that up as an absolute win. The next one is tricky because the next one is water, and water does mix with milk. Let's go for red food colouring again, maybe a little bit less. So this has, you know, sort of worked in that I do have my layers. My problem was the milk. What I will say about the milk is it does look really cool, but it has mixed with the washing up liquid, and it's mixed a bit with the water. We're going to see if we can finish this off with oil. Just try and like spoon some oil on top of this layer of water. Ah, yeah, that's working. So the oil does float on top of the water. I really don't like this bit. And this is just so much better. So I've used green water, green food colouring in the water this time round. And I learned from my mistake this time round I didn't use milk. And it's really cool. So I have oil at the top, I then have water, my fairy liquid, I have some syrup, and then I have honey. And they have formed really spectacular layers. So do have a go at doing this yourself. If you are going to do it yourself, obviously be really careful with all these liquids, and again, don't just throw them down the sink. Dispose of them properly, please, if you can. But otherwise, stay safe, be awesome, and thank you very much for watching.